Hello everybody, welcome back to the chess channel for beginners. This is Chess Addict here, and I've got a game for you. Alright, this is the first time I've played Mikenas defense, and I was playing white as the London system, and typically white, 42% of the time white does win, and that was the result today. But the reason I want to put this on here, and I'm going to put it under the beginner section playlist, because it is a perfect representation of how you play the London system. It was really my center pawn loss was less than 50. It was right at 42. And just to give you an idea, Magnus Carlsen's center pawn loss averages about 12. So that means that, you know, 90 something percent of the time he is making the strongest move on the board. Okay, so let's get into the game. All right, so I open with d4. He played c6. That's a little different. I play bishop f4. He plays knight f6, e3, e6, knight f3, bishop b4, and then I play the move c3, blocking off the bishop, completing the pyramid in the middle. Bishop a5 was a questionable response, but he's playing Mikenas defense, so it's a little difference. Then I play knight b to d2, castle, and then I play the queen to c2. He plays the knight, immediately attacking the bishop. I move the bishop, offering him to open up the h file. He can play. This guy was rated above. He was rated a little bit above 18. He was like 1828, 200 points above me. Bishop d3, and then I castle queenside, and then he plays the move b6, and then I kick the queen by playing the move bishop to h4. He puts the queen in a very good position right in front of the king, which, here's the deal. If you look at the dark square bishop over here, and I pointed this out in other videos, that when they're not moving a piece, it's because they need that piece. But you know what? He's on the right side of the board to launch a vicious attack. However, he has failed at capturing my London bishop, which is the dark square bishop over here on h4. And this bishop, and along with the white bishop, you can't play against the London system. Let me have both bishop and both knights. It's just not. It doesn't work like that. The London system is a great opening for beginners to learn, because it puts you on optimal lines that as a beginner you won't see, and you won't know to be on those lines. But if you just follow the opening order and put the bishops where they go and the knights where they go, you're going to be in a great position to launch an attack. And that's all I did. I just castled to the queen side rather than the king side. And which you can castle to the queen side most of the time playing the London. But typically, as a small rule, if they're going to castle king side, you castle king side you castle queen side if you've opened up that file. However, if the pawn in front of their king is sitting on g6 like his is, then it is better for you to castle queen side so that you can put all your forces and launch a very heavy attack against the king. Now, there was one mistake that I did make here, which was me not making the move king to b1. I never made that move, and it almost cost me the game. It almost did. So let's see how it turns out. So now I play the move knight to g5. The computer is questioning this move, but I got a plus 2.3 after the move orders. What I'm trying to do now is gain space on his side and put my knight in an attacking position or an assisting position, because I know that I'm going to use the bishops. At this point in the game, I know I'm going to use the bishops to checkmate him. That's going to be my best point. So let's use the knight and put him in a good spot, and then start opening up the position with the pawns. And he had the same idea, so he kicks my knight back. Then I kick over here to threaten his knight. He doesn't move it, so I take it. Now, the first mission is accomplished. That's what I meant when I just said that. Use the knights to open up the position, because I know I'm going to checkmate them I'm going to checkmate them using the bishops and the rooks, because of how the position is. You just have to move those kings those pawns out from in front of the king. And that is one thing that I want to tell beginners. If you're going to castle, you leave those pawns in front of the king alone. You don't mess with those pawns. If you have to use those pawns, then you're not set up properly to castle to that side. So now I'm pushing the king, the pawns, and the ones that are not in front of my king, I'm not using those. So now I'm going to open up the position even more. He wants that bishop. I'm willing to let him have that bishop. Why? Because his queen is sitting right in front of the king. And I know with his rating, he's going to move that queen. So I'll be able to take. And with my calculation, I will still have the queen available to snatch a pawn or to clear this opening out. So let's see how it turns out. He moves the queen. I place him in check. He moves the king. I take. He takes. And now I threaten his queen. He threatens. Bam, bam. Now he doesn't want to come down behind me. Why does he not want to come down behind me? Easy. Because if he comes down behind me to A1 check, then I simply move the king. King to C2. Well, excuse me, king to D2. And I'm no longer in danger. And I have the queen now in front of my king protecting it. This is where he blunders. This is the blunder right here. Rook to G8 was a blunder, period. Okay? Now, this is a powerful move. The next move. Bishop to F6. Bam! Check. The king, he has the block with that rook. Check. Now he has to move the king. Now, what I wanted to do, which I think I missed a move. I think this move right here was mate. And I totally missed it. Totally missed it. You know why? Because I was sweating the queen over here. This is what I mean. In chess, sometimes when you make one mistake or you forget to do something, it just turns into a ball, a snowball effect. It just mounts and mounts. But my position was so good that it was nothing this guy could do here. Nothing. Because here's the thing. If I slide back here, check with the rook, he has to come over here. And I'm fixing to capture his queen. Now he has to move here. And when he does, check. Discovered check. He has to move over. He can't come back to these other rows. So I get his queen. And let's see. I hate it when it does that. So now he threatens with the rook to take the rook. He wants to keep going. At this point, I wrote him in the chat box. I said, hey, great game. You played really well. We can play again sometime. He immediately moved the rook. He thought it was not over. Well, I showed him it was over. Check. He can't come down on this line because this bishop is very powerful right here. This bishop is basically guarding these two squares, and this bishop here that's located on A2 is guarding this square, the E6 square. So he can't come down, period. He can only move. So he moved backwards. Then I slide the queen, check. He comes up. Then I move the queen over some more, check. And then he goes there. And then now there's checkmate because he can no longer come back on the 7th rank. And he's made it on the back rank. That's a back rank mate. So he cannot. It's over. The game is over. But this is how the London should be played. Right here. This is how you use that London bishop. This is how you. Oh, but just remember, don't make the same mistake I made. And use and not move over to B, over to B1. The guy really should have resigned his position a while back. But hey, like I made videos before, no retreat, no surrender, fight to the very end. But there's like several different ways this guy can get checkmated from right here. If you really want to know the truth, even with him moving right there, you know. Right here, if he moved here, then I'm pretty sure I could just put this here. He takes, and then I slide down, and then she still can't come up. He just has to move, and then here, that's just the long version. But there's no way he could win this game. There's no way. The position was just too strong, And after I noticed that this mistake I made over here by not moving to B1, I had to really buckle down. I buckled down so much that I didn't even see that I had checkmate several moves ago. So that was a big mistake on my part. But I was proud of two things. One, I beat an opponent that was rated way higher than myself. And then two, I had a center pawn loss of less than 50. And that's what I strive for. Anyway, as always, click like if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel. And shoot me an email, chessaddict35802 at gmail.com. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.